Hey, gun people! Well. I get more heat from the damn 1911 Sig lovers, H&K lovers, everybody always talking about what great gun. Look, there's some good guns out there. I own Sigs, I own H&Ks, I own Glocks. I carried Sig on duty as a cop. I carried Glock, carried 1911, carried a Walther PPK on my ankle. So I'm not saying there's not good guns out there, but since I carried, used, and owned Glocks, I have said Glocks hands down are the most simple, reliable, always go bang, take abuse and keep going. They are just the best gun around for the price, for the coating, for the covering. I just love Glocks, and I always get the Glock haters. It's a Tupperware gun. It's no good. It's plastic. I always get these haters, and mostly people have never carried a gun to where they've had to draw it and actually depend on it for their life, and understand that they're facing deadly force situations and they got to rely on their gun. I'm telling you, I've always said Glock was a great gun, and now the Navy SEALs agree with me. Rick, Rick, the Navy SEALs are the best. You can't say that. Look, I'm just saying. I've always said Glocks are better. Everybody's telling me, well, the Navy SEALs carry a SIG, so SIG's better. Well, they're dumping a SIG, and they're going to the Glock, and they should have done it years ago. And I kind of reviewed a few articles on it, and let's see what a couple of them say. And a couple things you're going to notice in these articles is there's a bias that everybody is trying to kiss SIG's butt by saying what a great gun it is and how well it served them. And there's nothing wrong with the SIG. They're just, every article I read, they're like all defending the SIG. And I'm like, look, if there was nothing wrong with it and it was so great, why are they switching to the Glock? And then some knucklehead said, oh, they're switching because it's cheaper. Look, a price difference of maybe $400 or $500 is not, I mean, I think they only order 800 or so. A price difference of 4 or 5 ain't gonna mean nothing. They've got optics and that costs tens of thousands of dollars. They are not worried about a $300 gun difference. The Navy SEALs does not pick a firearm because it's cheaper. They pick it for reliability and functions, and they can depend on it. And they're getting rid of their SIGs and they're getting Glocks. And I've said for years when I own SIGs, and I still own 220s, a stainless and a blue, made in Germany, 45, carried it as a cop, loved it. It was a great gun. Yeah, it's got a fancy decocker. Yeah, it's got a nice little save. Yeah. Whatever. I'm telling you, Glock is idiot proof. It's emergency proof. It's panic proof. It only has, I think, 35 parts. And even removing or breaking 10 of those parts, 10 specific parts, the gun still operates. It'll still go bang. So a lot of guns, if one part breaks, it's out of commission. But I'm just telling you, I'm not getting anything from Glock, and I don't care if you all go buy H&Ks and SIGs. I don't tell you things so you go agree with me or buy my stuff. I'm just telling you to educate from experience-wise, from using it, from being an armorer in a police agency, seeing guys abuse their Glocks and treat them like crap and bring them in and dirty, and they don't ever clean them. And when I did my yearly inspection, the things I saw, I was just couldn't believe it. And the guns always went bang. They even went bang when they put the wrong damn ammo in them. They went bang. So I'm telling you, I've always liked Glocks. I know I'm going to have some SIG and H&K people that are just, you don't know what you're talking about. I've carried a SIG and they're great. I think I had a SIG 1911. I sent it back. It was the worst damn gun ever. I sent it back to the factory. 6 months later, they still hadn't returned it. I had to threaten again to file a stolen gun report if they didn't give me my gun back. And finally, they overnight shipped it when they got that letter saying I was going to report it stolen and no longer allowed to possess it. But I mean, that's what SIG services come to me. I think they're junk now. A lot of agencies, a lot of gun manufacturers make their name, get a military contract, make really good guns to get the military contract, and then they start cutting corners and they give the civilians junk and you don't get the same gun and they run around on their reputation. And I think SIG is a classic example of that. I think Colt rolled their name for a long time. The older Colts are great. I think they rode on their name a long time, but So, let's see. Notice this guy's talking good about it. The handgun was derived from the Sig Pro, a highly successful handgun by its own right, and been updated with modern features. Is this the SIGs? The SEALs are dumping the 226, or is this a promotion for the 226? Rick, why are you picking on SIGs? I don't like them. That's why. If you remember, they used to carry the 1911 because they wanted the 45, and then when I think they were forced to carry the 92 before they went to the SIG because they wanted to get rid of it. So they went to the SIG. And again, when guns are picked, there's a lot of backdoor senator promotion lobbying. Just because the military picks it doesn't. I mean, I'm sure there were some SEALs when they picked the SIG that said, I'd rather a Glock. But, you know, their opinion didn't matter. It was whoever was up there and whatever deal they cut, you know. So let's see. Again, this guy. The Glock did well in the so-called salt fog test. Actually, it beat SIG's butt in the salt fog test, and that's why they did it. And it tested for metal corrosion, important consideration for the SEALs, because they're working around salt water, sand, etc. So I've seen one Glock that had rust on it, and I don't know what the hell they did to the gun. They left it and only rusted in the top corner. It was like it was leaned against something. But out of all the hundreds, if not thousands of Glocks that I've seen worked on, handled, shot, I've never seen one with rust on it. I mean, it's really hard to get a Glock to rust. Here's another article where this guy's a SIG lover. These SIG lovers hate writing good stuff about Glock. The SIG 226 was replaced by those of the Glock 19 platform. There's nothing wrong with the SIG. It has served the teams for many years and provided a reliable system. However, as firearms evolve, the military needs to keep pace. And that's the case for moving to Glock 19 makes sense. Again, they're not going to give up a good functional weapon to go to a new gun just because it's new. And the Glock ain't that new. I'm not even, I might, when they picked the SIG, I'm not sure if the Glock was even in the running. But again, it's funny when I'm reading these articles, they're all, the SIG's great, but the SEALs are switching to Glock. The SIGs are great, and they serve good, but they're switching to the Glock. Yeah, they put that in small print in this article. Why are the SEALs shifting from SIG to Glock after so long? Because the Glock's better. No, Rick, it's because it's cheaper. Oh, okay, that's it. They're switching because it's cheaper. Yeah, the Navy SEALs is on a budget now. That's it. Our government's finally going to stop buying $5,000 freaking toilet seats, and they're going to buy a gun that's $300 cheaper. That's why they're switching. Man, more bias in this article. A number of factors. First and foremost, the aging guns are needed to be replaced. Believe me, if the SEALs want new SIGs, they would get new SIGs. They don't need to replace them and change guns. That's just, to me, that's just not saying the truth. And when they go out for bid, the Glock costs 1/3 less than the SIG. Yeah, the Navy SEALs don't buy things on a budget. Their life and the mission depends on it. Those who have never been in the military or understand that during conflicts, money's not an object. The SIG 226 was served in a few elite. It was considered a gun that delivers advanced features, which made the 226 the official sidearm. It's almost like they just picked the 226 if you read these articles. Only at the very bottom they kind of say, they're switching to the Glock. Oh, look at the pretty picture of the SIG. Yeah, that's the one they're going away from. Why don't you put the pretty picture of the gun they're going to? Why are you promoting SIG? Probably because you're sponsored and you carry a SIG and you love SIGs and you're so blinded by your love of SIG that you can't accept that Glock's a damn fine weapon. So now we're going to say they picked Glock because of aftermarket upgrades. What, you can't upgrade a SIG? SIGs are just the way they are? I believe most special op guys make their living on weapons, like to tune them to fit and shoot. Glocks have so many aftermarket upgrades like triggers, mags, and grips. All these features plus Glock's noted reliability makes it an understandable choice. Just say it, dude. I don't think they should. I like SIG better. I think they made a mistake, but because it's cheaper and because they have nice aftermarket things, that's why they went to it. Not because it's a better, superior gun. That's not why. Not because the SIG is a substandard gun compared to the Glock. No, that's not why. It's because they got features and it's cheaper. Yeah, that's it. So let's compare these two side by side and see maybe why Sig and Glock might have been picked. So the slide material, they're both steel. The slide finish, different finishes. I don't know what Glock puts on there, but it's damn near indestructible because I'm rough on my guns and I throw them in the car and I put them in a holster and out of a holster and in the rain and out of the rain, and I've never had a problem with the finish on any of my Glocks. Frame material, nylon-based polymer aluminum alloy. Frame finish, because it's black polymer, there's no finish on it. They're hard, anodized. Let's see, action. Single action extraction, meaning no safety to worry about in a combat immediate situations. It's like a revolver. When you pull the trigger, it goes bang. You don't have to click any switches. You don't have to remember anything. All you got to remember is finger on the bang button and squeeze. You're done. Double action or single action. Oh, that's really good. Wow. Caliber, they went with a 9mm. Overall length, 728, 727. So it's a little bit shorter. I wonder why they would want a shorter gun, Rick. Isn't longer guns more accurate? Shorter is going to be less weight. Pistols are kind of like a defensive weapon. It's not offensive. It's going to be close up. It's when your offensive weapon fails and you need to fight your way to get to a longer gun, to another defensive or offensive gun, and you need a defensive gun. So a shorter barrel isn't going to make that much difference when you're shooting where most shootings occur, in a room or in a building or in close quarters. Barrel length 4.01 versus 4.4. It's shorter. Again, less weight, easier concealability, less things to carry, not as big as a holster to carry it. Height 49955. Oh, the Sig was taller. So now we lost more weight, we lost more height, then we got a smaller holster. Gee, that could be by... No, Rick, if you read the article, the reason they're switching is it's cheaper and they have a lot of gadgets. Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's see what else we got here. Width, 118 to 1.5 or 1.18. So it's thinner. Again, less weight, smaller holster. Weight, 23.65 ounces, 34. It's lighter. Gee, man, Glock just seems to be so much... No, Rick, it's only because they're cheaper. They're going, okay, I got it. 15 and 1, 15 and 1, same ammo. Sights, you can change sights, not a big deal. Sight radius, pretty much the same. Even though the barrel is shorter, you've almost got the same sight radius. So if you need to make a long, accurate shot. Trigger, it's got a decocker on a Sig, big deal. Trigger weight is 5.5 pounds, which can be adjusted. You can get aftermarket triggers, or you can adjust your trigger itself and make that lighter. The Sig was a 4.4 and a 10-pound on the double action, but a 4.4. So you've only went up about, 1 pound, and you don't have a safety, and you don't have double action, and you don't have to, it goes bang. So accessory wheel, they both got it. Price difference. $700 for the Glock. Man, I see Glocks in pawn shops all day long for $450 and $500. But anyway, $700 and versus $1,100. So we're not talking, what, $450? Yeah, that's why they picked it, okay? Forget all the other positive things that Glock did. The reason they picked it, if you listen to all the experts on the articles who are writing articles about this, is because it was cheaper and it's got aftermarket accessories. Are you kidding me? No, I read that somewhere. Here's where it says, Glock is simple, has 34 parts, and will function even with 11 of those parts are taken out or broken. So that's 1/3 of the parts, and the gun still works. So that speaks pretty highly to the reliability of a gun, especially one if you're out in the field and it breaks and you can't fix it, it'll still work. I guess Glock has a marine version where they have vented ones so that water drains out. I think Glock is one of the most reliable guns that fire into water. I don't know if he says that here. Quickly remove from water. I think Glock is one of the few guns that is listed as the most reliable gun that shoots underwater without issues. So, look, I'm not doing a Glock commercial here, although it sounds like it. I just like the gun. And I like it because I've used it, I've broken it down, I've fixed it, I've seen it used, I've seen it abused, and it just freaking works. So, you know what? I like them. I've always liked them. I've always taken heat from the guys who want the big money manufacturer ones, but I'm telling you, Glock's a good gun. You can't go wrong with them. Now that the Navy SEALs are using them, maybe these people will stop, just because the Navy SEALs use it doesn't make it absolutely the best gun, because like I said, there could be politics involved, etc. But if they're switching from the gun they're carrying to another gun, there's a reason. It's probably because the SEALs either complained or wanted it. Just like when I think they went away from the 1911 and they carried the 92, they didn't like it. It sucked. The slide busted. It was just a bad gun, and they got rid of it pretty damn quick. They didn't carry it too long. But anyway, that's the news on Glocks and SIGs. I know I'm gonna get some hate from the SIG lovers and the H&K lovers. Look, I got both guns. They're both good guns. You pay for the name. You pay a lot. Are they better than a Glock? I'm telling you, if all three of them were laying there and I knew I had to get across the jungle and I had to grab one, I'd grab the Glock. That's just me. We'll end it there.